name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And this video is a bit of a present to me, actually, a bit of a gift from the good Lord. Thank you very much from the good Lord above. It's an article about the political discrimination that's been going through entertainment, specifically the comic book industry. It ties into a video I recorded yesterday. I think I'm probably putting it out. I don't know when this video is going out. I'm putting that video out on Monday, right? So where Ethan Van Sciver really cleverly comes in and I say cuts through the BS about cancel culture, and it basically says that they will blame you for canceling you, right? They will blame, when really it's just their political extremism and their political prejudice. So we're at the tail end of I'll say about 5 years of extreme political discrimination within the entertainment industry, and it's had the universally same result wherever you go. It's you go woke, you go broke. You know why? Because about half of your buying public, half of your audience, it shares the politics that you absolutely hate, and that half is a little bit confused at why you hate it so much. We don't feel, I mean, I'm in that half as well, and I really don't feel I'm a racist for thinking that immigration should be somehow ordered, you know, some kind of system to it. I just don't think that's racist, and I don't think it's because people have one skin color that no, I think it's insane. But anyway, so we're at the tail end of 5 years of political extremism and and prejudice, which has pretty much destroyed the comic book industry. And so we had this article this morning where a vaguely, center of writer-center creator has a mini-series coming out, and of course, the woke Twitterati cannot live with themselves. There's an article by Heidi MacDonald of the Comic Speak. Now, I don't know anything about Heidi MacDonald. I normally, I try to be open and honest in all my videos. I have had one interaction with her. It wasn't positive. When I was first starting to trying to break into comics and make comics, she had a service where she would advocate for you in the industry. I'm like, well, that sounds pretty good. So I sent her some money. And from all I can see, she didn't do anything. I don't think she read the email. So I asked her the money back. And she was like, fine, I want it. I was like, but you didn't do anything, right? You didn't do anything. Look, admittedly, it was like 2015. Who knew? Well, around there, who knew that being a white man is such a drag factor to anybody's career? But again, it was the beginning of the political extremism. Whatever. It wasn't a lot of money. I don't really care. But I want you to know that up front. I don't want you to think that I'm hiding my prejudices. I don't really hide anything, really. So this is a story about her trying to take out somebody who doesn't have the right politics, but in doing so, she lets her full anti-Semitism out. Her full, deep, abiding anti-Semitism comes right out, and of course, and I'm going to explain why it's anti-Semitic and how it's anti-Semitic. I'm going to go into it in detail, and she has no idea. She has no clue, I think, because she's a clueless moron, right? Somebody who enjoys being a clueless moron. Well, she has genuinely no clue of, how bad she made herself look here. So we're going to be looking at this. Before we get into it, can you hit the like button? That'll be great. Thank you very much. Can you hit the share button? That'll be even better. Can you hit that subscribe button? I hate to say it, if you're subscribed, please make sure you're still subscribed. YouTube does unsubscribe you. And it's weird. I don't know why. They did. I get my subs went up and then it went down, went up, went down. So basically, for my subscriber levels to go up, it's got to go up. Was it 3 times more than it actually go up? If I have 30 people subscribe, I'll end up with 10 extra subscribers. So it's weird, but that's just the way it does. So like, share, subscribe, make sure you're still subscribed. Comment really helps the algorithm. It really does. It makes them feel worse about discriminating against me, but not so bad that they would refuse to do it. So like, share, subscribe, make sure to still say comment, and go check out my Indiegogo. Go check out my Indiegogo. 2 awesome graphic novels over it. Look, this is a comic book video. I'm going to try and plug my comics, right? Because that makes sense. I have 2 awesome graphic novels over here. We got Biblical, Bible Source, Atheist, Creationists, Rationalists, and Rogues. I zoomed too much into the cover there. I really like that cover, though. I'm really happy with that cover. I was trying to, like, riff off, early Vertigo, Sandman. I used to love those stacking covers on Sandman that Dave McKean did. Everybody loved them, right? So I tried to do something similar there. It's a very similar vibe book. It's got, it's kind of, if you like Sandman, if you like Swamp Thing, if you like Hellblazer, it's that kind of book. It's that kind of book. I wrote and drew this one. And I'll give you my one-word review. I would say it's awesome. Freaking awesome. So's this. So's this also awesome. I'm also, that book's 220 pages long. This is 105 pages long. We added 5 pages in because the campaign did pretty well. This is a love letter to Telly Fancy of the 96ers. I wrote this one. The artwork was done by the wonderful Dominic Racho. So imagine James Bond, Emma Pill, Doctor Who, the Black Slave from 2001, and a monkey in a spacesuit. All in one reality-bending, genre-bending narrative together. We have a splattering of Thunderbirds, 1 or 2 warm splatterings of the prisoner. It's all there, baby. It's all there. And if you buy me, we got tons of extras. We have these posters. Well, this is going to be a poster where we hit 8 gram. We got For the Male Gaze series. Oh, I had the top cut off. 1 second. There you go. For the Male Gaze. For the Male Gaze series. A bunch of postcards. I would say naughty rabbinical postcards based on my masturbatory fantasies from when I was 12. And they still are. Yeah, no, I mean, this is pretty good. This will do the trick for me. Not much. This does it even more. So there you go. Check it out. We have posters, all kinds of things. It's wonderful. It's a deal. It's a steal. It's the sale of the freaking century, ladies and gentlemen. Go check out my Indiegogo. That'll be great. That'll be fan-freaking-tastic. Okay. Oh, there. One more post. There you go. Let's have a look at this article. Fables is coming back. Yay. So, Fables was a spin-off, I think, from Sandman. I never read it. It was just, you had Sandman, which was good, and then you had all the knockoffs, which were like, meh. I mean, Lucifer did, who was it? Mike Carey did Lucifer. I never read that one either, but they made it into a TV show. Yeah, it's amazing me, by the way. Sandman is being made into a Netflix TV show. And I was watching a video about it, and some of the design was really exciting. Got all that, like, the helm and the ruby and all that kind of stuff. But, like, the casting is so agonizingly 2021. So, Lucifer is a TV show that was based on a spin-off of Sandman, where they took the character, from Sandman and spun him off as own thing, and then they made a TV show out of that. I think was it Tom Ellis plays Lucifer. It's very successful. My wife likes it, which is probably an indication of why I don't like it. But now in Sandman, the character in the adaptation of Sandman, the character is played by Gwendolyn Christie. I'm like, what? that doesn't seem like Tom Ellis, Gwendolyn Christie. They don't seem interchangeable to me. They don't seem that interchangeable. So hey, Fables, apparently written by Will Binghamton, who is, again, not insanely left-wing, so he's bad. Team up with Batman and a 12-issue run are on the way. Yeah, but he's on the wrong side of history, which basically means he's not a massive racist. Which I guess Heidi MacDonald is, right? It was one of the most beloved comics of the aughts, with 150 run. Wow. A highly regarded video game. Never saw it multiple walls and even its own convention. Well, you made it when you got your own convention. And that's just, and just in time for the 20th anniversary, Fables is coming back. I guess, they want stuff that will, they know has a market. I mean, look, the publishing roster for DC is minuscule, right? It went from how many? Like 200 books a month to like 10, 20. It's like, again, I'm pulling these figures out of my ass. It shrunk a lot. I think it shrunk about 70%. And honestly, I can't believe there's still books scheduled to come out, especially with this deal with Discovery, right? Like, why on earth would they want to keep this company going? I mean, it could make money. DC Publishing could make money. Could you imagine how much money a satirical magazine that takes a piss out of both sides of the political aisle would have done in 2016, 2017, 2018. Can you imagine how well it would have done? Well, that could have been Mad Magazine, but Mad Magazine instead wanted to have Donald Trump on the cover, right? Every now Newman every week, and again, people who quite liked him, which was half the country. And I know, you tiny few people that work in media say they're all the evil Yahtzees. No. That's you being a bigot. That's your political bigotry, calling anybody who doesn't think like you a Yahtzee, and actually having no ability to debate anybody or talk to anybody on the issues, right? That's what council culture is all about. And just on the fables are coming back to a very different world where it's authors' politics. Yeah, it used to be that we all could get on with each other. Not anymore, is it, Heidi? No. And the book's not so subtle expression of it. Oh, really? But I don't really remember you complaining about the not so subtle expression of, I wouldn't say politics, the ideological insanity. Just about every book I see nowadays is about a cucked, some kind of subdued, submissive male being shouted at by an angry brown woman in some way or other, right? It's all about shouting. It really shines up the what's wrong with these insane people, the Twitterati. Superhero comics used to tap into like a real fundamental desire in people that they wanted to help. They think, there's fantasy that you could be so incredibly useful, you could be altruistic and help other people in certain situations, and you can go, and it's like, and you can give and be a giving person, right? And it just seems like an incredibly good thing. That's not what they want superheroes to be, these crazy people. They want them to be able to shout at people. Basically like this, the higher up you are on the progressive stack, the more you're allowed to demean and be dismissive to anybody lower than you. That's the ability. And that's what they do, right? And they either do that or they sit around eating and complaining. And don't take my word for it. Go and read some of these awful comics. Have you, what about the time that, Nick Spencer put mainstream centrist, non-extreme left-wing rhetoric in the mouth of the Red Skull? That didn't bother you? No. And because you do not have an equal playing field, you are full of shit. That's essentially what it is. You are utterly full of shit. And anybody who does that it doesn't matter what realm of life they're in. You got to have an equal system of justice, not just a system of justice directed against people you don't like, and ignores people that you do like. I honestly, I see it through every strata of society. I know, I'm a rabbi. I know rabbis who actually do this. They will apply, holy Jewish law, sacred Jewish law, to the most stringent level against somebody they don't like, and ignore terrible things, much worse, infractions that they are personally doing very publicly. People are strange, mate. People are strange. People are hypocrites. Yeah, and it's not strange to be a hypocrite. The books, not so such a question, are being heavily scrutinized. Yes, they're being heavily scrutinized by psychos that live on Twitter. That's you, apparently. But let's get the news out of the way first. Fables is back. Bill Willingham's exploration of Fabletown, where the characters from the legendary and public domain mingle and fight will pick up where it left off in 2015. With not one, but several. Oh no! Because they don't want anybody they don't like to be employable in a realm that's they want to be in. Right? They can't enjoy comic books if there's comic books which they don't read, but comic books made by people they don't like. They can't enjoy it because they don't like comic books. That's the book. They don't really like comic books. What they like is the cultural influence of comic books. And so, they if there's anybody, even as a comic that doesn't touch them, doesn't come near them, if it's written by somebody they don't like or created by somebody they don't like, they hate it. Just look at Comicsgate. I've just explained to you why people hate Comicsgate, right? Just exactly for that reason. Yeah. Why do people pretend it's a white supremacist racist movement? Because they don't like people who don't think the same way as them. They just don't like it. And they can't enjoy something if they have those people in any way associated with it. Because they're freaking crazy. Fine. So picking up several Black Labels, including a team up with Batman that brings the story to the DCU. And listen, I always like that. In the early Animal Swamp things, there's this great, I think one of the first arcs, it had the... who was it? Dr. Was it Windrew? The not the fluorescent man, the floronic man. I can't remember. He had the plasty flesh he put over himself. He was made of plant. But basically, he had this big super plan. In the end, he was defeated. And then you had, it was like Firestorm or somebody show up from the Justice League to take care of it. And I did like that mixture of worlds. I thought that was quite cool. And Fables 1 Fable starts a 12-issue run, which will reunite the team. Wellington, Mark Buckingham. Does that mean Mark Buckingham has finished drawing Miracle Man, right, or Marvel Man? That would be awesome. That would be, because the last I heard, he would. I Facebooked him about 6 months ago saying, "What's happening with Marvel Man? I love it." I heard you're back working on it. He said, "Yeah, it's been delayed. Well, I've been working on it. I think the pages are done, right? I think the pages are done. So if he's working on this, maybe he's done with that. That'd be great. Maybe it'll come out. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Steve Lee and Todd Klein. Blimey, that's the name from the past. First on sale in September, Batman versus Digby. A wolf in the... Okay, blah, 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 blah. It's just telling you about Fables, right? Telling you about the book. If you like this stuff, go check it out. Go check it out. That's great, right? Fables ran from 2002 and 2015, yielding best-selling collections, winning 14 Eisner Awards, and in general being one of the most beloved books of the era. How beloved? It had its own convention, FableCon, organized by Willingham in 2013. Yeah, I'll tell you, that sounds cool. Attended by 400 people, including a bunch of comic luminaries. It was, by all accounts, a wonderful time by all. But now, Willingham politics, and it's your politics, and your racist politics, Miss MacDonald, that we're going to be looking at. Because now created Willingham politics, which he often injected not so subtly into the book. Wait a minute, are you one of the people who said, look, comics have always been political? What's your problem? Comics have always been political. No, always. No, Doctor Who's always been political. Star Trek's always been. Yeah. So what happens when the politics is in it that you disagree with? And again, we don't know why you disagree with it, because you cannot enter into any form of discussion about it, because you are an insane loser, and we're about to see an insane racist loser. Which not so are now being scrutinized by 12 psychos that live on Twitter, along with some of his more questionable actions along the way. So they play the hyperlink game. That questionable action it links to it links to one thing. He was at a convention and he started to cut people off in the chat. It basically seems like he had poor social skills, right? It was essentially just that. Along the way, Willingham has never been shy about his conservative politics, and why should he be? Again, are you shy about your liberal politics? No, are you shy about screaming that Trump's a racist, right? You guys scream from the high end Trump's a racist. I tend to believe he wasn't. I'll tell you why I think he wasn't. I think you prove it. I think racists can't not express their racism. Racists are normally proud of their racism. I used to listen to Howard Stern. They used to have Daniel Carver on, who was the former Grand Dragon of the KKK or something like that. And they were all proud of it. They were proud of being racist and being more racist. Exactly the same way. Heidi MacDonald here is going to demonstrate how she's proud, so proud to be a racist. And again, and so clueless. At least the KKK people, they know they're being racist. Yeah. William has never been shy about his concerns, although in the naive bipartisan paradise of 2002, liberals and conservatives working on comics together wasn't much of a political statement, as much a political statement as it is now. Yes, that was paradise. You know, here, look, let's. This shouldn't have been paradise. That we can get along despite our political differences shouldn't be paradise. The fact that it was paradise, it is because you're insane, right? That's why it was paradise. There's a famous thing by Stan Lee talking about how the bullpen is made up of everybody, you know, people of many, and they all get along together. But you don't like that because you're an insane racist, an insane bigot racist by the looks of it. In particular, a pro-Israel storyline. Oh, okay. And that was it. She didn't explain why that's bad. Why? So, Heidi, explain to me why a pro-Israel storyline is a bad thing. What is it that upsets you? Is it always the barometer, 100% time, the barometer. I think this cultural war essentially falls along these lines, that you either are like or are okay with the normative Judeo-Christian values. That basic idea of like loving each other. I mean, you're basically okay with that, or you like it, or you hate Judeo-Christian values. There's one and that's the fault line. That's the fault line. That's why I think they always hate Jews. They always, and they also never say, "Oh no, it's not Jews, it's Israel we hate." Yeah, excuse me. The reasons you gave me for hating Jews were what we use Christian baby blood in our service. You always give bullshit reasons, complete and utter bullshit reasons for hating Jews. And newsflash, you still do, right? Look back on my channel. I did a live stream when I went through. Oh no, I put it out as a video as well. When I went through John Oliver's deeply racist critique of a take on the current war in Israel that was going on a few weeks ago. By the way, I'm going to put this video out on Monday. I've decided. You know why? Because I think there's probably going to be another war kicks off on Tuesday, Wednesday. Hopefully it'll be over by the weekend, right? But I think that's probably why. Why? Because when that last one kicked off, it was Jerusalem Day, which is a kind of important day for us Jews. You know, we've been praying for Jewish life to return to Jerusalem for 2,000 years, and I'm not shitting you. That's real, right? Go to any like Orthodox synagogue. Look in the prayer book. It's called an Art Scroll Siddur. Look in the prayer book, and you'll see 3 times a day in the three services a day. There are many prayers in it which are about a Jewish return to this land, Israel, and a return of Jews to Jerusalem. So, in 1967, when Israel captured Jerusalem, how did we capture it? By the way, because all the Arab states around us ganged up and wanted to kill us. But you couldn't give a shit about that, could you, Heidi? No, but that's fine. That's fine. Killing Jews, yeah. Fair. Who cares, right? And then we had a miraculous war, as no other way of describing it, and we captured. We were completely undergunned, and we captured the LC. So it's a very important day for us. It was the first time that Jews has sovereignty over the Western Wall, which is our holiest site. Western Wall is the last remaining wall of the Jewish temple that was destroyed about 2,000 years ago, right? So, and it's where the Dome of the Rock is. So, what was going on right then? Essentially, Hamas was making a power grab from the Palestinian people. Fatah, the Palestinian Authority, had delayed elections again, 15th year running, and Hamas was doing well politically, so they started this war essentially to get to make themselves look good in the eyes of the Palestinian people, which says quite a bit in of itself. But the reason they said they started it was because there are evictions in an Arab community called Sheikh Jarrah in Jerusalem. The reason these evictions were taking place is because in 1948, I know there's a lot of history. In 1948, when Israel had the War of Independence, and this is exactly what Heidi MacDonald is banking on, that you not knowing shit about it. That's why I'm telling you it. In 1948, the War of Independence, we lost control of Jerusalem. And you know what they did? They ethnically cleansed Jews from that area, including the owners of those buildings. So the people who were living in the buildings stopped paying rent. In 1967, we got Jewish authority came back there, and they went to court saying, "Could you pay us our rent, please?" And it's been going and going back and forth in court ever since then. And every court, by the way, and including the High Court, every court has sided with the owners. And you should know the Supreme Court is incredibly left wing in Israel. It's incredibly left leaning. So these are normative evictions. Well, not normative. 70 years late, evictions for non-paying of rent. John Oliver sneered, "You call it an eviction?" Well, no, it's ethnic cleansing. Fuck off, John Oliver. It's the exact opposite of that. So it wasn't ethnic cleansing. So, but there you go. But again, none of this matters to Heidi MacDonald, because Israel's always bad. Again, didn't substantiate at all. Just Israel. I see you support Israel, bigot. Yeah, exactly. And you know why? She assumes Israel is the worst thing ever. You know why? Because she gets all her information from a very, very valid source called Hamas. Now, Hamas has in the charter to murder any Jews where they can find them. And let me tell you, they ain't kidding. They're very much into that, right? They're very, very much, they're very much into murdering Jews. It's kind of their thing, right? They kind of really like it. Superman, like Truth, Justice, and American Way. Even though I don't think they can say American Way anymore. Hamas likes killing Jews, and it's not my interpretation. It's in their charter, right? The reason for their existence. So, I would have thought somebody who likes to murder Jews, their narrative about Jews may not be, I don't know, may not be entirely accurate. It maybe has a bit of bias in. And that's the narrative that Heidi MacDonald takes as the gospel truth. You know why? Because she's a fucking racist. That's why. So, let's see. And also anti-abortion statement. Oh no. Listen, wherever you are on abortion, right? Wherever you are, I think it's a person's right to choose. There's a very good chance you're killing someone. Especially the later term abortions. There's a very good chance you're killing a human being. I don't know. Listen, according to my religious worldview, you are. Honestly, if according to Jewish law, if it's some question of danger for the mother, right? Some question of danger for the mother, then the mother's life takes precedence, and an abortion is permissible. So it's not like we're saying, "Oh, forbidden under any circumstances," and that also could well include pregnancy from incest and rape. And I think that would have a very serious psychological detrimental effect. Could be permissible. Again, I'm not an expert in this area of Jewish law, but I'm just telling you, like the bullet points. But again, why are you so convinced that it's not killing someone? I don't know. It seems to. I understand it's uncomfortable to think we may have, we may be murdering people, right? It's uncomfortable, makes you feel icky, but that doesn't change the fact, right? You might be killing somebody, and if it's got its own heartbeat and thought patterns, and partial birth abortion, you might be killing someone. So I understand the need. I think the genuine need to have legal abortions available, because if you don't have that, people are still going to get abortions. They're just going to have far more unsafe ones, right? And so why endanger more people, right? Why endanger more people? But again, no. Heidi MacDonald says no. Hey, listen, you can go and shoot a 5-year-old in the face. They might decide they wanted it aborted, right? For her, it's fine. In particular, pro-Israel storyline and anti-abortion from Snow White were among the more obvious expressions in Pages of Fables. In 2009, Willingham wrote an essay for the conservative site Breitbart complaining about superhero decadence, which could be a blueprint for some more strident comics culture comic culture wars that follow. Look, the wars were you, darling. We all just wanted to just get on and make comic books, right? Everybody just wanted to make comic books. And let's continue go back to that paradise where we could work together, where we didn't moralize our political differences. And stirred up a storm of controversy at the time. Amongst crazy people, maybe, and I think I'm talking to one. Willingham's Wikipedia page quotes him being rabidly pro-Israel. What does that mean, rabidly pro-Israel? You think I think, okay, this is what you mean. I'm going to explain to you exactly what you mean. You don't think Palestinians have the right to murder Jews because they're Jews. Yeah. And that for you is being radically pro-Israel, right? Anything Jews do to stop them being murdered is completely unacceptable. And Miss MacDonald, I'm offering you a right reply. What? What is allowed? What are we allowed to do to not let ourselves be murdered? And I understand this is a new thing for you to deal with. Like, Jews have always been like, okay, I guess it's time to be murdered, right? We've always been under your protection, right? Let's see how well that worked out. And I have to tell you, the Palestinians under our protection seem to be doing a lot better than we ever did under yours. But what? The question is, how are we allowed to defend ourselves, right? And the answer is this: there is no way whatsoever. We do not let ourselves be murdered. If a 15-year-old boy comes at me with a knife and I have a gun and I shoot him, I'm the villain. I'm the villain. Even though he wants to murder me, I'm the villain. That's in Heidi MacDonald's diseased, racist mind. So let's see what your rabidly pro-Israel is. A quote from an interview that seems to be lost in time. However, he was about to open it in a 2007 interview with the AV Club. The Israel analogy, probably at the time I was writing, I thought it would be controversial because it mentioned Israel in the context of a hot button issue. But once again, I thought the people upset by the analogy were people upset that analogy was used, understood the analogy. Well, I thought even the people upset that analogy was used understood the analogy. Okay, Bigby made his point of the little guy with vast forces arraigned around him. Some wackos online don't sign their name to what they write. To what they write have said that I'm a mouthpiece for Israeli propaganda. How's again? Cocksuckers out there. All you racist cocksuckers out there. Can you please explain to me how this is Israeli propaganda? A guy comes and runs at me with a knife and wants to stab me. That happens! A missile went, 200 meters from my freaking head. That happens. How is that propaganda? How is them openly saying, we want to kill you, Jew? Propaganda. That's not propaganda. That's called, and I know it's something that's somewhat unusual in 2021, news. That's called news. So your mouthpiece is really propaganda and things like that. Again, Heidi MacDonald, come on my channel. Any freaking time, and let's go over this propaganda. And that's why they can enter into no debate whatsoever, because they don't have anything to debate. So massive propaganda, although it's very unusual for somebody to see the Israeli side. Mostly they don't. Analogy. Bibi made the point that little some wackos didn't. And things like that. A paid mouthpiece, which would be wonderful. I haven't gotten any pay yet. They always do that. They when in England, when we had the most vehemently anti-Semitic leader of Labour that decimated Labour, right? Labour is the mainstream left-wing party in England. He absolutely decimated Labour. They had the worst loss ever. Worst loss in about nearly 100 years. And he was running against the incredibly unpopular Boris Johnson. That's how much, and God bless you, British public, you have my back, mate, I'm always going to have yours. Yeah, which, has happened over and over and over again. When you little racist fascists stick your heads up, which you are, Miss MacDonald, you little racist fascists stick your heads up, the British public, the good working class British public says, fuck off. And good for them. Honestly, that's why you love the working class, and it will always side with them 100% of the time. Because you know what, you want to put your finger on what's right and wrong. You go there rather than the intelligentsia. Oh God, very rarely live up to their name. and things like that. What have we got paid for it? But if my Israeli commanders are listening, the checks arriving would be a nice thing. Yeah, okay. So yeah, the controversy of that didn't surprise me. The Israel thing, a little more heated than I expected, but most things are. Yeah, because again, they hate biblical values, which I think is the root cause of them hating Jews. And to be sure, they hate Jews. They do hate Jews. You said in past interviews you're unequivocally pro-Israel. Well, you're not unequivocally. I think if we did the things that Heidi MacDonald says we do, you probably wouldn't be, right? Which is why they say it. Which is 100% why they say it. Why do they say Jews use Christian baby blood to make their matzahs for Passover? So people like Bill Willingham wouldn't be pro-Israel, wouldn't be pro-Jew. Do you think Fables do you think of Fables as communicating a political message or being persuasive in any way? I bet I don't know the answer. I bet he's going to say no, right? I bet he's going to say no. Because, again, I don't mind all these like insane leftists putting in their worldview into their work. I think that's organic. But it's when they make their work a platform for their insane worldview, that's when it fails. And universally, it does. No, actually, I thought it would be a best example of politics today to use in my example. I bet you're right. Maybe my fondness for Israel helped in deciding that it was a good example to use. But no, Fables is not didactic in any way. I completely hear it. At least not intentionally. I don't expect people to read an issue, pop themselves in and said, "Oh, OMG, I must have been stupid about my politics in Middle Eastern affairs." No, it's just that most people get their narrative from Hamas. And it's crazy though it may seem. It's true. They get their narrative 100% from Hamas. Remember, you might remember it's about a month ago now. All the clutching of pearls when Israel, during the conflict, Israel blew up a building, giving everybody warning to get out because nobody else does that, do they? And they were like, "Oh, but Al Jazeera isn't here, and the media." Oh! But that's why one of the reasons we want you to get out. Turned out that was the building they were trying to jam our what do you call it again? That Iron Dome in England. In Israel, we call it the Kippah Barzel. Kippah, by the way, is these things. It's one of these things. Like the skull cap that we crazy all talk to. So the keeper, because it's like a dome, and Barzel means metal, right? So that's why the Iron Dome. Because Big B would want me to. I don't expect anything like that, and I would put that line in almost any character's mouth, just because and I wouldn't put that line in Jesse because I can't imagine anybody else saying it. Whereas Big B was a guy who's already established historically. He went to war several times, and he was involved in World War I and II. And he's the type of character who will think along those lines. What are these lines that he's thinking on? So he goes, ever heard of a country called Israel? Who knows, maybe, but why is that important? Here's what you need to know about it. Israel is a tiny country surrounded by much larger countries dedicated to its eventual destruction. Well, that is indeed true. I would say Jordan and Egypt are the most warm and fuzzy, but basically they're like, yeah, okay. And why should that concern me? Because they stay alive. I have to tell you. When I was in rabbinical ceremony, it was in the old city of Jerusalem, and we always had tons and tons of specifically German tour groups coming through, like all the time. And I kept wanting to go up to them going, "We survived!" But fortunately, I thought better of that. Apart from one time, I'll tell you about that. And if you come to one of my live streams and ask me about it, I'll tell you that story. Because they stay alive by being such a bunch of tough little bastards, they make the other guys pay dearly every time they do anything against Israel. That is part of our national defense. Yeah, to know that we're not going down quietly, which is saying that just upsets Heidi. What? You Jews aren't going? What? You always went down quietly before. Why not now? Some in the wider world constantly wail and moan about the endless cycle of violence and reprisal. We can end the cycle right now. Real easy, in a way that nobody can argue against, right? Nobody can argue against. How about this? Hamas and the Palestinian people in general, they publicly get up and say, we are going to give up on our right to murder Jews, right? We're going to say, no, Jews can live, right? And we're going to stop trying to murder you. And I bet we could resolve this pretty darn quick if they did that. Of course, no, they're not going to do that. Why? Because cunts like Heidi MacDonald over here are spilling their propaganda, and why should they? But since the alternative is non-existence, the Israelis seem pretty determined keeping it. I say they have a lot of grit and iron. I'm a big fan of them. Look, I'm going to give you a bit of a secret, right? Israel's success in all its many wars that we've had to fight to not be murdered, right? Isn't down to us being that great. It really is. I mean, we're pretty good. I'd say we're pretty good. But like again, let's look at the 6-Day War. We made insane decisions that shouldn't have worked, and we survived. They don't teach those battles of the 6-Day War or most Israeli battles in West Point or military academies because they shouldn't work. But that's just what's going on. So let's see what upset her so much. So rather than a joyous open-armed reunion, Comics Twitter, your 12 psychos came out with a strong "read the room, DC" reaction. Oh, he's not an anti-Semite like us. Oh, we don't like him. We only like anti-Semites like us. Reaction and general realization that what could be overlooked in 2007 is not acceptable now. God, don't you want to go back to 2007? Wasn't the world better then, right? Really, wasn't it better? I think it was. In some ways, it's like comics version of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Listen, the only reason you don't like Buffy is because he turned out Joss Whedon was a super creep, right? So, okay. But something once lauded as progressive that must be reassessed in light of about people behind the story. Again, what has he done? He said that Jews shouldn't be murdered by Palestinians. We shouldn't let ourselves go, passively be murdered by Palestinians. And that for you, what revelation is that? Name the revelation. Yeah, exactly. And here's the incredible thing. You're going to whine. Oh, you always call me people anti-Semites. So they anything anti. No! Idiot cunt! We don't always do that. We do. I do call you out when you are actually anti-Semitic. That's what I do. So how about this? Stop being anti-Semitic and then I'll stop calling you anti-Semitic. Does that sound like a fair frickin' exchange? I don't know. You work it out for yourself. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out as the press tour rolls on. Yeah, because we're going to make his life miserable. Right, we're going to make his life miserable. On a business level, DC bringing back one of his greatest hits of the early century, one that seemed to have run out of steam indefinitely, is impressive. It's going to go, but if they're going to go back again and again, it as revealed in some previous screen, it sure is pretty. Okay, and I think that's it. But the ongoing discourse about this book and Willingham politics is likely to be anything but pretty. Yes, because you're a hateful cunt. That's why. Because you're a hateful, bigoted, racist cunt. Like all the rest of you purple-haired weirdos, you're all hateful, bigoted, racist cunts. And that's just my commentary on the matter. Thank you for hanging out. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.